Let's move on to 1 p.m. Eastern. Chargers, Texans. 1 p.m. Eastern. LA Chargers 8-6, 4-2 on the road at Houston Texans. 3-11, 1-6 at home. We're at Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas. Let's take a look at the market move here in this spot. We have these Superchargers. Where are they here? Here we go. Chargers opening up as 10.5-point favorites. That's moved to 9.5 or 9. This total opened up at 47.5 and is now at 45. When we go to the cash flow in this spot, we have 2,118 tickets in, 77% of the tickets on the Chargers, 82% of the cash. And then we have 41% of tickets on the under, but 59% of the cash on the under. Chargers coming off extra rest and prep after losing 34-28 in overtime at home to the Chiefs last Thursday. Herbert was 22 of 38 for 236 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Keenan Allen returned from the COVID list and caught 6 passes for 78 yards, 1 touchdown. And Birdie bet the under 47 in this one too on Monday. Nice job. Justin Jackson was RB1 for a lot of the game, 13 carries for 86 yards. Austin Eckler, 12 carries for 59 yards and a touchdown. Also caught 4 passes for 23 yards. The defense couldn't get enough stops when it counted. They finished with 1 sack and 5 quarterback hits. Uchenna Nwosu had a pick. Safety Derwin James aggravated a hamstring injury in the third quarter, and everything changed. The whole game changed then. The secondary could do nothing to slow down Travis Kelce or Tyreek Hill. Kelce went for a career-high 191 yards. Mahomes went for 31 of 47 for a season-high 410 yards and 3 touchdowns and interception. Threw for 200 yards after that pick, and Derwin James wasn't on the field anymore, and that is what happened to these Superchargers. Let's take a look at what's going on with this injury, with just the COVID addition. So yesterday, these are the players that they added to the COVID list. Chris Rumpf, linebackers, Trey Marshall, safety, Tavon Campbell, cornerback. Andre Roberts, wide receiver. Joey Bosa is on the reserve COVID list, and he will not be available to play. So they lose Bosa too. Corey Linsley. These are the big names that are out. Corey Linsley on the reserve COVID list, and then Eckler on the reserve COVID list. Now, he has a chance to get back to play, but all these other guys are out. So Asante Samuel and Gilman, cornerback and safety, were inactive last week and are questionable this week. And Staley's optimistic that Derwin James would come back. And then Donald Parham's concussion, he's out of hospital and he's okay, but he's not going to be getting on the field anytime soon. That's a lot. That is a lot of issues right now. The Texans coming off their eighth straight victory over the Jaguars. I paused because I saw 8 straight victories. But yes, 8 straight victory over the Jaguars, 30-16 in Jacksonville. They did it despite being ravaged with COVID. Davis Mills won for the first time in 8 starts, going 19 of 30 for 209 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception. Brandon Cooks caught 7 passes for 102 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tremont Smith returned a kickoff, 98 yards. That's the first Texans kickoff return for a score since October 4th, 2009. Tavier Thomas and Garrett Wallow each had 11 tackles. Wallow also added a sack. And then let's do a quick update on the Texans COVID issues. God, what mess COVID has turned all this into. Here we go. Oh, sorry. Going in the wrong direction. Here's the Houston Texans COVID issues. We have, God, look at this list of players out. So these guys were out for the game that was just played when they looked pretty good, and they're not huge pieces. Defensive end DeMarcus Walker, cornerback Terrence Mitchell, safety Terrence Brooks, guard Justin McCray, guard Lane Taylor, defensive end Jonathan Greenard. So there's a big piece. I mean, he had such a great start to the season. So they're all on the reserve COVID list. Jimmy Moreland, Justin Reed were inactive last week and are questionable this week. And then new COVID list additions: Jacob Martin, defensive end; Malik Collins, defensive tackle; Derek Rivers, defensive end; Jeff Driscoll has a fractured collarbone, so he's out for week 16. What a mess. Take it away, Bebsy. Can you find any clarity in this?
The only thing I kind of like in this, and I'm a little bit weary of it because of the Linsley, the absence of Corey Linsley, who has really helped this line be good this year. I mean, part of the reason that they weren't better last year was because their O-line was full of holes and Herbert was getting his head bashed in all the time. Him being out can't be overlooked, except for the fact that they're playing the Houston Texans And I don't think there's any pass rusher strong enough to exploit that. This Texans defense is okay considering their complete and total lack of talent. But Dennis Trusty brought this up, and I kind of like this look more than anything else in this game, and that's the Chargers team total over. Because with the COVID injury or the COVID absences on their defense, I struggle to see them covering. But that's the only real look. Like, there's so many variables in this game right now, mostly due to COVID. But, you know, Derwin James probably shouldn't play because I think they win without him. And they need, if they're going to be competitive at all, he needs to be there. Bosa being out is huge. He's obviously their best defensive lineman. So the only thing I can trust is what the Los Angeles Chargers defense can do against this Houston Texans, or offense, sorry, can do against this Houston Texans team. There's not much else I can trust.
Birdie says there's still value on this under, in my opinion, at 44. The team total, by the way, is at 28.5 over at Bet365. That is juiced to the under. Let's see what Pinnacle is doing. Oh, Pinnacle won't have this on the board, of course, because they're a smart book. And then let's see if... Here we go. No. Okay. All right. So Rams just kicked a field goal, so they are now up 20-10 with very little time on the clock. Those of you back in the Rams, -7, like my dad, are in good shape, really good shape. We'll see how the last 46 at DraftKings. There you go, Vibe. Did you want me to line shop for a Chargers team total, or you want to wait and study?
No, I think I'm good with it, to be honest with you.
Good, meaning you want to move?
Yeah, I'm not gonna bet it. I wanted to bring it up because I thought it was a good point from Trusty, and I don't hate that look, but I don't love it enough to bet it either.